Hello and welcome to the Modern World Dynamics channel. We're your go-to source for navigating the complexities of the modern world with a dash of British wit. Today, we're diving into the digital age's age-old question: what to do when she doesn't text back? We'll explore what it might mean and, most importantly, how to move on with grace and confidence. So, whether you're nursing a bruised ego or simply curious, we've got you covered. Today, we'll be tackling this topic head-on, so grab a cuppa and let's dive in. Ever experienced the dreaded no reply? You've sent a message, and hours, even days pass, nothing. Let's dive into why this might be happening. One possibility is that she's simply busy. We live in a fast-paced world where everyone's juggling multiple responsibilities. Maybe she's swamped at work, or she's dealing with a family crisis. Like our friend John, who once texted a girl he was smitten with, only to receive a reply 2 days later. Turns out she was on a camping trip and had no signal. So sometimes it's not about you, it's just life happening. However, there's also the chance that she's just not that into you. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's a possibility. Like when our buddy Mike kept texting this girl he met at a party. Despite his witty jokes and charming emojis, she rarely responded. Later, he found out she was more interested in his best friend. Ouch. Now let's not rule out the possibility of games being played. Sometimes people test the waters to see how you'll react to their silence. Consider Sam's story. He was seeing this girl who would often take ages to reply. Sam was frustrated, but he played it cool. Later on, she admitted she was testing his patience to see if he was serious about her. And lastly, she may not be replying because she doesn't know what to say. Communication isn't everyone's strong suit, and sometimes people need time to process and respond. Like our introverted friend Emma, who often takes her time to respond, not because she's uninterested, but because she likes to give thoughtful responses. Remember, everyone's different, and these are just some possible reasons. But what should you do in this situation? So, you've sent a text, and there's been no reply. What's your next move? We've all been there, right? It's like a game of chess, but the stakes are higher because your ego is on the line. But here's the first rule of the game. Don't panic. You might think that the silence is an echo of rejection, but hold on. It's essential not to jump to conclusions. She could be busy, her battery could have died, or maybe she's just taking time to craft a perfect reply. Here's your first strategy. Give her some space. Imagine you're making a cup of tea. You've got to give it time to brew, right? Same goes for her response. Now, you might be tempted to send a barrage of messages, hoping one of them will elicit a reply. But let's be real. You're not throwing darts in a pub. This is texting, and the more is merrier approach doesn't quite work here. So, resist the urge to bombard her with messages. It's about quality, not quantity. And while we're on the topic of staying composed, remember to keep your cool. You're not diffusing a bomb, you're waiting for a text. So, take a deep breath, maybe do some yoga, or better yet, get lost in the world of Netflix. Now here's a little humorous anecdote. Remember Bob? Bob once texted a girl and didn't get a reply. He panicked, sent a string of messages, and even tried calling her multiple times. The result? She was on a flight, and when she landed, she had a barrage of messages waiting. Needless to say, Bob didn't get a second date. So don't be like Bob. Finally, let's get one thing straight. While it's easy to overthink and create a whole narrative in your head, sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. Maybe she fell asleep, or her phone died, or she's just busy. So remember, keep calm, give her space, and whatever you do, don't bombard her with messages. It's important to remember, while it's easy to overthink, sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. But what if the worst case scenario happens? She's just not into you. It's a hard pill to swallow, but sometimes it's the one we need to take. So how do you move on? First, focus on personal growth. It's like when you're on a plane, and they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. You've got to take care of yourself before you can be there for someone else. So, hit the gym, start that book you've been meaning to read, or maybe even take up knitting. Who knows? You might just discover a hidden talent for creating chunky scarves. Next, spend time with friends. Remember those chaps you used to hang out with before you started waiting for her texts? They're still there, and they've probably missed you. So put on your best pair of jeans, grab a pint, and enjoy a night out with the lads. You'll soon remember that there's more to life than waiting for a text that may never come. And then, pursue your hobbies. Let's say you've always had a passion for bird watching. Now's the perfect time to dust off those binoculars and head into the great outdoors. You might not spot the elusive albatross, but at least you're doing something you love. Now I know what you're thinking, but British voiceover guy, none of this is as fun as receiving a text from her. And you're right. But remember that guy who became a world-class chef after his girlfriend broke up with him? Or that girl who climbed Mount Everest after her boyfriend ghosted her? They didn't sit around waiting for a text. They moved on and did something amazing. And who knows? Once you've found your groove again, you might just find that you're not as bothered by her silence as you thought you'd be. Moving on is a part of life. And it's important to remember that there's plenty of fish in the sea. Now, before we wrap things up, if you're finding this content helpful and entertaining, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's a simple click for you, but a massive support for us here at Modern World Dynamics. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? We've talked about why she might not be texting back. Could be she's busy, or perhaps she's just not that into you. We've also discussed what to do when she doesn't text back. Remember the golden rule? Don't panic. Give her some time and space, and if she's interested, she'll reach out. And most importantly, we've explored how to move on. Life's too short to wait around for texts that may never come, right? It's all about the art of letting go and focusing on yourself. Hope you found some nuggets of wisdom in our chat today. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us continue to bring you more content like this. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. We've got a whole lot more insightful and entertaining content lined up for you in the coming weeks. Thank you for tuning in to Modern World Dynamics today. Remember, if she doesn't text back, it's not the end of the world. Until next time, keep it dynamic.